Okay, so good evening, everyone. From the continuation of the previous series of the sessions that I started with last Saturday, I took a session on DNA. Today, we will be mainly dealing with the current topics, which can be one of the possibilities in the group discussion. This will be very helpful for those who are preparing for companies now and probably for the further rounds of different process. There are some entrance exams, there are companies are now, there are colleges are now taking GDs as one of the criteria now. So for them, this will be very useful. In this session, I will be covering some topics and I will be elaborating some topics based on my personal comprehension. And I'm sure that comprehension will going to build your understanding. But one thing which I wanted to make it very clear is there is no substance, there's no shortcut to hard work. You need to read, you need to prepare, you need to definitely identify your way, your understanding, then only you'll be able to perform. Okay, guys? So let us begin with this wonderful analysis of the GD discussions, GD topics. The first thing is I always start with the same statement. I always say if you're not reading a lot, start reading, because if you wanted to become a leader, you need to be a good leader. Good leader. Only reading and not reading will make a change whenever you will be proceeding for the further life. So make sure that at least make a habit of reading a newspaper daily and at least a novel in a month. So that will help you in your future, right? Then I always say this, that we can have n number of ways of identifying things, but make sure that if you're preparing for something, you need to be very sure. So what I did is I have come up with a certain topics. They may not be very much accurate with what you are expecting, but what I believe is they are the most common topic which can be trending, which can be considered as one of the topmost topic which are right now are important. So I have divided into multiple categories. There are some around 15 odd topics that I have mentioned, which are there, which can be considered. You can take a screenshot of it and then can have a feedback of it. Apart in these 15 topics, I have bifurcated these 15 topics into certain areas. So I will be dealing with some five major areas, and that I will be discussing today. So I'm not covering each right now, but yes, in near future, whenever the session I will plan, I will cover the rest of the topics. But you can take a screenshot of these topics and then probably start working on the topics based on what I'm today going to tell you. That's the way you can probably plan. So, uh, the most important thing is what I really wanted to convey here for a GD participation. See, GD is a very important phase, very important process in many entrance exam. Based on my personal experience, I was associated with many big institute, and then we are conducting, as in Vikalp Education, we are conducting these GD programs in multiple institutes. So what we found is one of the major struggling points, because I am not going in what GD is all about, because this session has been already been conducted by Mr. Vikrant Joshi. So you can go and visit the entire detailing about the group discussion, why, how to conduct, what to perform, the codes of GDs. Today I will be mainly dealing with how to perform in GD, what you can speak, and how much you can speak. So I'll start with the participation part first. Based on my personal understanding, I have divided GD into three basic areas, three time limited areas where we always say you should always start with an introduction, then you need to discuss topic, and then conclusion in the suggestion point based on the topics available. So when I say introduction, that means you need to understand the topic, and then based on the topic you need to come up with the proper introduction of the topic. So if suppose I will say euthanasia, so euthanasia, if you don't know what is euthanasia, the first thing is you must know the context. If you know this euthanasia is nothing but a mercy killing. So you need to define there is something called euthanasia. There are two types of euthanasia, passive euthanasia, active euthanasia, and based on the passive active euthanasia, you can also elaborate some context with based on the India. So whenever you are starting a GD, it should always start with an introduction. Suppose it happens, you might have a query that some manager start नहीं किया, किसी और ने start किया. उस case में what you can do probably is you need to understand if you are not the introduction is not being conducted properly. It's your responsibility to have an introduction properly. So first introduction of the GD must be there. किसी और ने start किया, कहीं और से start किया, doesn't matter. You start and then probably start with an introduction. Once the introduction part runs, you have to enter once here. You cannot enter twice in introduction phase. Introduction phase generally lasts for 2 to 3 minutes. Under one introduction, you can spare 20 to 30 seconds, not more than 30, and I think 15-20 seconds is the minimum time limit you need to enter it in any introduction phase. In the topic discussion point, at least you must have 2 to 3 different entries. So 2 to 3 different entries. When I say 2 to 3 different entries, 2 to 3 times you need to speak, and every time in this phase you may not get that much of a time. So and every time you have to spare around 10 to 15 seconds of your GD time. I think beyond 15 seconds it will not be considered as a valid point, and below 10% 10 seconds also cannot be considered as a good entry. So 2 to 3 entries in the introduction. What happened in topic discussion? What happened in this phase? This phase we generally discussing all the possibilities. We talk about the elaboration about the topic. We talk about the facts in this particular phase. We talk about the different. We take different examples in this phase. So in this particular body, this is the longest time you can consider. 70% of your time would be on a topic discussion, and then comes the final phase of it. So it is always remember, if you are not providing the final conclusion or a suggestion towards the topic, that cannot be considered as a proper GD. So again, conclusion or suggestion based on the instruction provided or based on the topic. The topic may have the suggestion point, like for example, capital punishment should be there in India or not. So there could be a suggestion on that in Indian context. This could be the suggestion, and there could be global examples you can take and then come up with a final suggestion. And there could be a possibility that your invigilator is asking for conclusion. But the important point is you need to again try and come up in one entry here. So in total, if you can count, I'm not saying you to speak 7 to 8 times. I'm just saying to speak minimum 4 to 5 times. That is more than sufficient to get cracked in any specific interview, I'm assuring you. Only thing is your entry, your consideration should be so well planned, such a way that your every entry will be considered. So time limit, I have given you, I have told you the time limit. Remember, too much lengthy point will not be considered as a valid point. And if you are just interrupting someone, if you are just entering in someone, again it will not be considered as a most important or valid point. So try and inculcate certain data in such a way that your entry will be considered as valid, and properly try and plan it such a way that it should look like a proper GD. If you will try and make up a mess of it, then it will be a problem for the rest of the people also. So if suppose somebody is creating a problem, you have a responsibility. You know these all contexts now, so you can try and actually articulate accordingly. Okay. So these are basically the participation thing which I wanted to convey here. Now after this, the most important points are areas of discussion. So topics, people always say, how will we prepare for GDs? How can we actually come up with some topics and accordingly we can comprehend? See, whatever happening across us is a matter of discussion. So whatever be the matter of discussion is a kind of a GD. So GD does not mean it is an always formal type of a GD where we are sitting in a semicircle form and then we have numbered, allotted, and then we are discussing, and there is an invigilator. GD we have the GD happens daily in our life. We discuss things with our parents, we discuss things with our friends, we discuss things with our teachers. So this is again a kind of a discussion. Only thing is, it is more considered as an informal point, but whatever things are happening around us is the part of a GD. So what I have done is, I have divided GDs into 3 broader areas. that will be really helpful for you to identify which type of GD, which type of preparation I need to perform here. So when I say GDs, general topics, today I'm basically covering the general topics of the GD here, where I have divided GDs into five major areas: social, economic, professional affairs, and sports and technology. All five I have taken on a different mode. So this is the general topic. General topic, generally any company which just wanted to shortlist you, or any institute which just wanted to shortlist you, they don't want to check any other aspect of it. They will take a general topic. They will just pick up a general topic among the topic happening across, and they will pick up. Sector specific are the GT which are very important for companies preparation. So those who are preparing for companies, they will require to have a sector specific. So suppose you are preparing for a BFSI sector, banking financial services sector, then you may have a GD with the context of a BFSI sector. And if suppose you are dealing with an FMCG sector, then probably you may have a GD with compliance with the FMCG parts on that context. So you need to understand, in some cases if the companies are too specific, let's say they are thinking about only marketing tips, they wanted to take only marketing student. So on that cases they may in FMCG sector they will come up with a GD which is more towards the marketing aspects of they wanted to check the most of the marketing aspect rather than a general aspects of a GD here. So based on this again can be identified. And third is a profile based, as I told you. Case based is a companies nowadays. Many companies are coming up with a multiple rounds. One of the round which is primarily coming is the case based GDs now. So where in the profile based they have a very specific profile on a particular field, and they wanted to test your ability to comprehend on that particular context. So there are companies or there are colleges. In simple sense, there are the IIMs and other big elite colleges are conducting the case-based things. Abstract topics generally being taken by the creative agency companies like marketing, advertising companies. When they are coming to they wanted to check your quotient on ability to abstractly think on it on a particular note. And then situation based, again how you react on a particular situation. If you give in a general case, they will be given you they will going to give you a situation, and based on the situation you need to identify it. So again these are all types which we can elaborate. There will be more elaboration. Sector does not mean these are the only five sectors. There are multiple sectors based on the companies or the expectation is there. Again in the profile base it could be more specific towards particular thing. But in a broader sense, the best part about it is the content more or less will remain similar. Only in a particular case, this content may vary. Like in a specific case, whenever there's a case on case-based GD, then there might be a different case with different content. But on a broader context, the content will remain more or less similar. Only thing is the specification will define. So further to this, we need to understand the topics now. What I have done is I have tried and covering GDs into five major areas. Today I will be covering starting with the social topic which we are dealing with, and I'm telling you the first topic is very important from current situation point of view. You really need to comprehend and build your understanding. Whatever I am discussing, I'm receiving chats here, so I can see. You can definitely come up with your points also on the same thing, same context. So let us straight away start with the first and the foremost important topic, which is nothing but based on the social issue. I have taken this because of you might have understood now. I have taken this as my first priority topic, which is whatever has happened across in whatever happened in Kolkata, and specifically we have seen the kind of agitation which is from the doctors and the resident doctors are doing it in they are struggling to get a good job place. So this has become a huge issue across nation and has come up with a important point. So importantly, please try and understand when I say social based topic, that does not mean that you need to be very emotional towards that particular case. Okay, you need to understand in a GD they are expecting your ability to understand that topic and then discuss it. They don't want you to be more emotional. So we might be very emotional, we might be very, very shocked based on the context which has happened, but you need to be very particular, you need to control your emotion, make sure that you will discuss practically. Okay. So let us try and understand. I have created a separate altogether topic for this. This topic I have made is we failed as a humans. So this could be your GD topic. Let us assume this could be your GD topic after watching these many newses, and specifically not about Kolkata, because we have witnessed multiple rape cases in last 2 months. We have witnessed a case in UP, two multiple cases in UP. There is almost 12 years that happened to this disastrous case, which has put up an attention to across the world. 2012, the Nirvana case. So there are multiple cases is happening, but as a human, as a society, as a person, we have definitely got failed. That could be one of the GT topics. So what are the points will be expected from this, and what are how you will elaborate? I will going to tell this. But parallelly, I would request everyone, those who are watching, those who are listening, they can also parallelly start thinking or probably start writing about their points. What are the points you will discuss whenever the GD will come? So first of all, remember, divide GD into three areas: introduction, then introduction about the discussion, and then finally the conclusion and suggestion. So here the most important part would be the third phase where the suggestions will come up. I'm sure whenever they will be coming up with this topic, they will be thinking on, definitely they will be thinking on what suggestion you wanted to put forward. So GT topics कभी एक primarily comprehension होता है. They wanted to comprehend on a particular note. So you need to be smart enough to understand their expectation toward this topic. They will think how emotional you are after discussing this. They will think what are the suggestions you will put, because they wanted to check your ability on these type of situation. How will you as a person you will going to perform. Okay. So whenever there is an introduction, remember, always start with some or other phrase. If you have good phrase with you, if you don't have a good phrases with you, please start collecting some good phrases which are connected to the topic. Start with that phrase. Once you will start with the phrase, your presentation about the topic will automatically increase. Okay, so therefore, this cases I have come up with this particular phrase, which is very much connected to what our topic is. We failed as a human. The greatest failure of mankind is when they fail to prove what humanity is. So I will start with saying this statement. So when I start with saying this statement, what will happen eventually? Eventually, everybody will grab attention, and then I will start elaborating about why we are talking about failed as a human. So first point must come as a humanity ground. It shouldn't start immediately. Please try and understand. I have not pointed out specifically Kolkata Dr. Murder rape case. So you don't need to be very specific straight away. You can put up an example on this GD. So what you need to do is you need to start discussing about what is happening across the country, or per se across the world in terms of humanity. It may not cover on it also cover rape cases, but it also cover the other humanity angles, which is happening in Israel and Gaza, which is happening in other part of the world. We have seen in Bangladesh the minority people are being killed. We have seen there are multiple events are happening across India also apart from this. So don't put up only one angle. Of course, these two are the purpose taking of this particular topic is because of this what has happened is there. But please try and understand, elaborate topic, comprehend topic. They are not expecting you just to comprehend about this particular case. So as a humanity, we can talk about multiple angles, we can come up with multiple angles. In a broader introduction, you can say whatever is right now happening across around us is actually against the human breed. We are actually not succeeding. Human is being man should be man is considered as a social animal to the world, but unfortunately we are actually not that socially reliable as compared to what the other parts of the world they are doing it. So in a broader context, we can start with this failure part of the human. Then probably we can move to the second phase of our discussion. I believe इसमें you may have 2 3 or more points, in some other people will speak 1 or 2 points. So in collaboratively 1 or 2 points of introduction can be discussed here. Then we can start with this important angle of putting justice delayed and justice denied वाला जो entire context है. Then we can talk about, because this topic is right now boiling, it has not been clear. I don't know when you will be giving a GD here. So GD, if you're giving like let's say next 15 days, this topic will be the most important topic. हो सकता है 6 months बाद after watching this video, this may not be the only topic that you need to look into. So we can start with this. You please remember, you don't need to elaborate what has happened in the Kolkata rape case. You don't need to narrate a story. They don't expect you to narrate a story. You just need to put up your angle. Whatever has happened is shame, and whatever is the government has done is again a shame thing. But again, I'm repeating, don't only consider one particular aspect, where otherwise आपका GD 2-3 मिनट में खत्म हो जाएगा, आपके पास points ही नहीं रहेंगे. So you can start saying that justice delayed is justice denied. We have witnessed a horrible case where a doctor which is nothing but a crusader of your health system. We have seen these doctors have worked day and night, and they have worked for us on COVID era. So one resident doctor in Kolkata, in a private hospital, in one of the hospital, is being brutally murdered and brutally raped and murdered. And then you can say that this is the entire context that we should try and inculcate. Then you can give up some more example. You can talk about what has happened in UP Faizabad. You can talk about what has happened in India case. Then let us try and inculcate topic to some more areas. So only rape cases will not be the point here. Then you can talk about what is happening in Bangladesh. Then you can talk about some more examples. You can take what is happening in Russia and Ukraine war. You can talk about Israel and Gaza. So in collaboratively, you can start discussing these different points. Once you will start discussing these points, I'm sure you will be getting multiple ideas, and then probably you can come up with a final phase of your GD. What is the final phase of the GD? Then start putting suggestions, start putting conclusions. Now, in this topic, I will be mainly elaborating the suggestion part. I believe conclusion and suggestions are the key element, because it's the last thing that we will be discussing in your GD. So ultimately, suggestion can vary person to person. That is what they want. They don't want, there is no fixed solution. If fixed solution hota, government abhi tak fix kar chuka hota. So there is no fixed solution. So as a person, what I need to give a suggestion. So when I will see such kind of a case, I need to understand that the most important part in this is the education. As an educationist, we need to understand, we need to comprehend that if people are actually somehow they are understanding these things which is happening is wrong, then probably their comprehension towards these things will actually narrow down, and then probably these type of issues can be reduced. Of course, there are security issues in this case. Of course, there are issues on some kind of a racket, or probably in other cases also there are some mishandling of the proportionate things. But on a broader context, as an individual, we need to start working on providing the proper education in terms of giving them the actual picture about the individual person, rather than thinking on self-appointed things. So the problem which is right now is happening is a self-obsession versus as a complete humanity. Somehow we need to shift from this angle to that angle. That could be what my suggestion is. But I think there can be multiple more suggestions can come up. There can be an angle of people getting people getting a big punishment. That can be one of the angles that you can put forward, that straight away people should give a capital punishment to such kind of cases. That can be one of the solutions. So the point is, You need to come up with some creative, some good, practical, reliable suggestions on certain issues. Okay, so in these era, we can divide these three things into three different angles. This is a very emotional topic, closest to our heart. It may impact anyone's particular anyone's specific thinking. So please make sure that you should not point out straightforward things in this topic. Make sure that should not be very emotional. You need to be a bit practical. It's something which, as a management student, we need to comprehend that the practicality on the certain context is very very crucial. So अगर आप बहुत emotional हुए ये topic में, it will be a struggling point for you. Okay, so this is our first topic. Second topic I am coming up with economy. So I have come up with an economy is another topic which you will find one of the very very key elements of it, very key element I believe. Economy is does not mean about the finance jargons or economic jargons, or it doesn't. ऐसा नहीं सोचिए कि economy as for a marketing student will not be helpful. No, I believe economy is something which as a person we need to understand. उसके लिए आपको बहुत कोई tedious economic times पढ़ने का जरूरत नहीं. Of course, if you are reading economic times is a good thing, but what I believe is basic terms, basic context, you need to understand what is happening around us is a crucial aspect. Now, I have not taken a topic on stock market or something related to that. I have taken a very specific topic which is which basically considering the part of the knowledge-based economies. So when I say knowledge-based economy for crucial for development of India, this is the topic I have taken for this, and I have divided this topic into four major areas. Then four major areas which is very very crucial as a person you need to understand. You should also divide into these 4-5 areas. That again I have initially only told you this is my comprehension, this is my way of understanding towards a particular topic, and I believe you will work on this तो आपके लिए काफी effective रहेगा. So knowledge based economy for a background. See, remember the statement. It is knowledge based economy. It is not talking about India at present, although the topic is talking about Indian economy. But when I say knowledge based economy, your introduction, your initial background will be very very specific. So, very very broad. You should be very very broad in understanding this. So knowledge based economy is where knowledge being used as a power. So in the current context, we know the knowledge is being reached to the next level where we are using the multiple sources of the new technological aspect. We are now living in that area where the knowledge is playing the most important vital role. Then probably knowledge-based economy as in India, if you can see, India पे आप कैसे connect कर सकते थे? India is always a knowledge-based economy. Why? Because we are a more service-oriented economy. Although now we are shifting towards the manufacturing per se, but India is always a knowledge-based economy. India's strength was a knowledge-based economy. We are the maximum people of many people in our country are involved in a service-related industry, whether it is in IT or a banking, financial services, or any per se, any fintech or any other point of view. So, knowledge-based economy is a background. When I say we need to talk about some global knowledge related, and then we can talk about Indian context. Parallelly, you can club, and this can become your introduction. So you can club these two things and make an introduction out of it. Then probably the most important part, which is second and third, which comes into the picture. This topic is considerably kind of a debate-based topic where you don't need to go for an exact debate here, but need to understand there are two different areas. Like in the last topic, there's two different second area. What has happened as a humanity? What is happening? It's wrong. So in this case, there are two different areas. So I have put up two different area benefits for India, and then obviously India is still not ready because of some reason. So benefit for India, why? Because knowledge-based economy, you can see India, the advantage that India has, three biggest advantage that facts you can put forward immediately. First is the largest English speaking population in the world. Second is the largest youth population in the world. Third is the most important thing is the idea behind understanding the different technologies that we have. So India as a knowledge-based economy, there are multiple benefits. We are using the AI, ML, and then you can start coming up with some more jargons like this, all artificial intelligence and things that you can come up and then put forward the uses that we are implementing. You can move to ISRO's recent satellite launch. You can talk about. You can talk about the entire technological structure, the UPI payment. You can talk about in this case in person, because UPI is again a knowledge-based technological transformation-based economy. So that in angle is benefiting India. So you can give good 3 to 4 points here. उसमें से आपको कितना entry मिल पाता है? Again, as I told you, I'm not saying you will be able to speak everything. It's not practically possible. और वो अगर आप करेंगे तो भी वो dominating हो जाएगा. So you should not think. ये always एक क्वेश्चन होता है कि सर मैं सबसे ज्यादा जीडी में बोला फिर भी मुझे नहीं लिया. इसका main reason simple है. They don't want dominator. See, they want a management trainee. They want a trainee in their city. So if you are comfortable with this topic and you are dominating others, then it will not going to show a good picture. So make sure that you are speaking in a limit, and that to be on a in a proper context, proper on this. So you 3 4 points as I told you. But India is not ready. Why it is not ready? Because India, the vidambana of India is, you can find out that we have also highest number of labor working in our country. We have highest number of people still not skilled in the particular area. So the knowledge that we talk about is still far behind than us. So in a similar GD, I am contradicting in certain points. It's fine. It's no issues on that. But make sure that it should not come simultaneously. So if you are speaking on a benefit side, then you can speak benefit side initially, and then you can shift your gear, and then you can talk about certain points ready for a knowledge based economy. So these two will be your discussion part, the second phase that when I talk about. In this topic, in a primarily sense, you will find out that the third and fourth important point is way ahead for India. So way ahead, like what are future plans? So this will come under the suggestions. So as an individual, what suggestion you wanted to put forward for an India to move forward for an economical development? So what I found as a suggestion, again I'm repeating, you can change your suggestion, you can change your conclusion based on your comprehension, but please build your understanding. That is what the purpose of the lecture is, okay, that the session is. So in my opinion, way forward for India is India need to be pretty cautious about moving ahead for a knowledge economy because of the problem, the geographical huge location that we have, the kind of a structure that we follow. We just cannot rely only on sharing the knowledge bases. We also wanted to compulsory improve the skills of the individual, and then parallelly we need to also work on the gray areas. Like the agriculture sector, we are still reliable on monsoon. In manufacturing, we are still dependent on the foreign companies. If they will give up a foreign FDI, then only we will do. So knowledge base does not mean only focusing towards the artificial intelligence side or machine learning or IoT and something like that. We need to understand, we need to make it that broader in all other areas. So there where India is lacking, when we started the GD, we have clearly mentioned India was a more service-driven economy. So that can be one of the disadvantages you can capture, which you can suggest in the final phase where we need to move forward. Then probably you can take one or two examples which is happening right now. Atmanirbhar Bharat is one of the important schemes that government has started in 2020. There it is really working. So probably you can put forward some more points, more examples in this case here, and I believe that may add up to your equity in terms of discussion of the points. Okay. So this is, I think, based on economic topic, but still you can see it's not all economic jargons. Yeah? So ye yaad rakhiye, until unless the company is in finance, very strict finance domain, they are not expecting you to know these finance jargons. बट द बेसिक कॉन्टेक्ट यू शुड नो, जीडीपीज, एफडीआई, एफआई, ये अगर आप बोलते हैं कि फाइनेंस जानना है कि यू आर मेकिंग अ मिस्टेक है। आई बिलीव दैट इज समथिंग वी नीड टू really comprehend this. Okay, so this is I think point topic 2. Now I have taken topic 3 here on international affairs. When I was choosing international affairs, I had thought multiple newses which is happening around us, and I believe you also following the same context. So international affairs mein uh, international affair is one of the key area where you can talk about. The topic is geopolitical crisis impacting India. This could be one of the topic which is actually geopolitical. When I say it is what is happening across the world which is impacting India. It's not about what is happening in India at present. What is happening across the world which is impacting India. So this is again a huge humongous topic which can have a multiple elaboration. But first of all, please elaborate what is geopolitical. Geopolitical is geographical and political. Geopolitical. So you need to elaborate this. What is geopolitical crisis? Which is the crisis which is we talked about, which is the normal crisis. And then we could talk about impacts on India. The amalgamation between the Indian economy or Indian political affairs with the others. Then probably this introduction can be completed. Always remember the entire introduction section will always be important how the GD will move forward. If your introduction is not on a proper note, I believe difficult हो जाएगा आपके लिए. So make sure कीजिए कि introduction को proper elaborate करिए, एक एक word को आपका elaboration होना चाहिए. और आई एम श्योर आप बोलेंगे कि सर किसी और ने स्टार्ट किया, किसी और ने कुछ बोल दिया. मैं आपको फिर से वही चीज बोल रहा हूँ. Your task is to make proper introduction, make the flow properly ताकि आपका GD smooth चले. And if you are doing it, invigilator is watching. Although GD में बाकी सब लोगों ने कुछ भी नहीं बोला होगा, but आपके जो form of structure में अगर आपने कोशिश की इसको लेके जाने के लिए, that is more than sufficient to select. Okay, एक आध exception पे इसको आप मत consider कीजिए. Broadly, if you are putting GD on a proper note, I personally believe आपका definitely इसमें success ratio ज़्यादा होगा. तो geopolitical अपन ने देख लिया. Now इसमें जो discussion point है वो सबसे lengthy है, सबसे बड़ा है. And उसके बाद then probably the suggestion part can come up in a broader context. So अगर मैंने देखा सबसे पहला शुरुआत हुआ था हमारा आई थिंक इसमें रशिया यूक्रेन रह गया है, although it has impacted India. तो रशिया यूक्रेन आई थिंक 2022 में हमने देखा. कोविड के बाद से ये फेज बहुत खराब चल रहा है. कोविड हुआ, उसके बाद चाइना के साथ हमारा गेलवान वैली में स्ट्राइक सामने फेस ऑफ हुआ. उसके बाद हमने देखा 22 में इजराइल रशिया और यूक्रेन का वॉर शुरू हुआ. तो यू कैन स्टार्ट डिस्कसिंग ऑन जियोपॉलिटिकल कॉन्टेक्स्ट व्हिच इज हैपेनिंग. बट रिमेंबर it should not become only a matter of discussion on geopolitical issues. It is a topic connected to India. Maximum mistake क्या होता है, हम स्टार्ट कर देते हैं रशिया ने यूक्रेन को क्यों रशिया ने यूक्रेन पे क्यों वॉर स्टार्ट किया, अटैक क्यों किया, हम ये बात करने चालू हो जाए. ये मिस्टेक है. यू नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड रशिया यूक्रेन का वॉर हो रहा है, ये सबको पता है. यू डोंट नीड टू डिस्कस ऑन दैट. You need to talk about what has impacted. Russia-Ukraine war say India को बहुत profit हो. We got cheap oil. Our जो wheat products थे, क्योंकि Ukraine is one of the major products producer of wheat. हमारे जो wheat जो agriculture products थे उसका export हम लोग करने लगे. But as a humanity ground it is not good. You should talk about in practical sense, but again practical sense में भी you should not look very harsh. वो लोग मरे हमको कोई मतलब नहीं है, ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए. It should be very you can say sophisticated while discussing in GD, very smart in pointing out your statement. Then Israel and Iran and Gaza का जो issues हो रहा है, इजराइल के साथ हमारे ट्रेड्स अच्छे हैं. We are purchasing काफी सारे उनसे हम लोग वेपन परचेस करते हैं. वो हमसे कई चीजें हमसे इंपोर्ट करते हैं. तो उनके साथ हमारा रिलेशन है. पैरेलली हमारा गाजा के साथ भी अच्छा रिलेशन, गाजा एंड अदर के साथ भी अच्छा रिलेशन. सो वो आप एक पॉइंट आउट कर सकते थे कि इजराइल हमारे लिए की एलाय रहा है काफी समय तक. तो जो वॉर हो रहा है उसके हमारे पे डिफिकल्टीज आ रही है. बांग्लादेश पॉलिटिकल coup is definitely going to impact us. अभी वो बहुत लेटेस्ट है, इसके रिजल्ट्स अभी और आ ही रहे हैं. एक तो सबसे बड़ा इम्पैक्ट होता है हमारा नेबर होने का. सो एज एन इंडिया हमारे लिए सबसे बड़ा इम्पैक्ट अगर कोई न्यूज पे पढ़ रहा है तो बांग्लादेश पॉलिटिकल coup है, क्योंकि वी आर डीलिंग विद एन अनसर्टेन नेबर्स. We know Pakistan and China are very, very volatile. Then Sri Lanka is already struggling. Bhutan is somehow, they are also considering a problem. Nepal, again, the shift in the government. Myanmar, there was already a military coup way before. Then Afghanistan, which is nearer, already, and religious outfit is working there, Taliban government. So, in a broader context, our neighbor, जितने neighbor थे उसमें सबसे easy neighbor हमारा बांग्लादेश ही था. वही एक struggling point पे है. This will going to hamper us in broadly refugees के आने से और बाकी सब चीजों के लिए. Then European refugee crisis, you can see UK, France, and other part of the European world में, which is impacting many things which can be added on here. US election is going to impact really in Indian context. Although as Jaishankar has mentioned, that is clearly that whomsoever will come, we will make it. We will make an arrangement for that. But we are witnessing these changes. Democrats and Republicans, we know that. You should know that on the Republican side, they are more favorable to India on a democratic comparison. So this is again impacting. Stock market is actually moving. The stock market, you can put up a context, and then you can see this because of the geopolitical issue. Stock market is also changing in a bit. So in a broader context, इतने सारे areas पे आप work कर सकते हैं. But every single point of time, whenever you are discussing in this GD topic, make sure you put name of India, so it should look very relevant to our context. Because geopolitical issue, Indian markets are also going down. This will be a valid point, which is actually happening geopolitical regions के कारण. इंडिया का स्टॉक मार्केट भी रेड में है. अभी बीच में हुआ, हालांकि हिंडनबर्ग केस के कारण भी हो रहा है, बट ऑन अ ब्रॉडर कॉन्टेक्स्ट मेजर इशू वाज द जियोपॉलिटिकल रिस्क. दैट हिंडनबर्ग इश्यूज आर इन अ लिमिटेड साइज में वो चलता है. ठीक है, तो ये सारा इंपैक्ट इसमें आएगा. कंक्लूजन या आपके सजेशंस में you need to say this, that India need to be very specific. I believe India को हमें ये इस तरीके से put forward करना चाहिए कि we need to manage our basically I am trying to say is the balancing of the egg. We cannot always go on one side as a policy that India is always being a neutral to the world. I think we should continue doing the same thing, but parallelly we also need to think before giving our assurance to Russia or giving our assurance to Israel, which can consider as an extreme activity. So you can put forward in such a way that which looks pretty diplomatic from diplomatic angle से जो लगता है वो आपको दिखेगा. ये आप अपने सजेशन से पुट कर सकते हो. Otherwise, I believe internationally we are doing sufficient enough. We are thinking about our benefit, but again हम extreme नहीं जाते हैं. तो हम बहुत हद तक एक्सट्रीमली नहीं जा रहे हैं. तो ये केस में अपने पास बहुत ज्यादा कुछ ऐसा कॉन्टेक्चुअली प्लॉट करने का जरूरी है, बट ये फ्लो में आपको चलना चाहिए. So this is our third basic topic of GD. Then fourth area I have chosen is sports. Sports again आप समझ चुके हैं कि रीजन क्या है, because of the Olympic, but this Olympic has multiple controversies. This Olympic is not only about one controversy that we talk about, that Vinesh Fogart. No, so this Olympic was in multiple controversy. So you can talk about that. उसमें Olympic related जो context अगर आप देखते हैं तो टॉपिक इसमें अपना बन सकता था कि India's performance in this Olympic. We can talk about that. Indian context में आप बात कर सकते हैं कि इंडिया के ये ओलंपिक मेडलिस्ट हैं. We got only 6 medal, one less than the last year से. इनमें छोटे-छोटे फैक्ट्स हैं जो आपको याद रखना है. इस बार इंडिया का परफॉर्मेंस काफी वीक रहा एज कंपेयर टू लास्ट ओलंपिक, एंड ऑफ कोर्स हमारा जो टैली में भी जो रैंक था वो काफी लोअर रहा. So this can be one of the point that you can talk about in the Olympic case. But in a broader sense, ये टॉपिक अगर आता है तो वो कंट्रोवर्सीज के लिए आता है. तो कंट्रोवर्सीज के लिए क्यों आएगा, क्योंकि उसमें कई ऐसे कंट्रोवर्सीज हुए हैं जो पूरे वर्ल्ड के लिए सरप्राइजिंग है, शॉकिंग है, और वो कहीं ना कहीं एज अ पॉइंट ऑफ कॉन्टेक्स्ट हमें लेके चलते हैं, ठीक है। तो आप इंडिया के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू में ले सकते हैं, बट मैंने ये जो टॉपिक है वो कंट्रोवर्सी पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से रखा हुआ है, एंड आई फाउंड दीज मेनी कंट्रोवर्सीज इन ओलंपिक केसेस। तो टॉपिक ऐसा बन सकता है कि इज दिस ओलंपिक 2024 is about only controversies. Okay, so if this topic comes, then probably you must know at least 5 6 good controversies which has happened. Okay, so the problem started from the start when the inaugural ceremony happens. From there to the final, जब जितने भी sports हुए हैं तब तक every single point of time there's a controversy has happened in this. ऐसा नहीं है कि पहले नहीं होता है, हर स्पोर्ट्स में और कंट्रोवर्सी होता है, छोटा मोटा कंट्रोवर्सी होता है, बट इन सम केसेस विच जनरली जो कंट्रोवर्सीज हुआ है इसमें वो बहुत सरप्राइजिंग था। मैं तीन चार उसमें से आपको जो बताता हूँ बहुत बहुत ही सरप्राइजिंग था, एंड आई डोंट फाउंड विनेश फोगाट्स elimination as a controversy. It is based on the rule. Okay, it's as an Indian, if you will ask me again, if you will say विनेश फोगाट के साथ अनफॉर्चुनेट हुआ, गलत हुआ, ये हुआ वो हुआ, then you are pretty emotional. Then they will understand कि ये बंदा आधा अधूरी बात पे करता है. If you are a practical guy, as an Indian, I always want she should at least win a silver. सभी को पता था सिल्वर मिलेगा, but what has happened is because of their personal physical training, जिसके कारण वो अपना वजन नहीं कम कर पाए. So you need to understand विनेश फोगाट के साथ जो हुआ वो हमारे लिए अनफॉर्चुनेट हुआ. उसको कंट्रोवर्सी में अगेन मैंने लिखा जरूर है, बट अगेन उसको कंट्रोवर्सी कहना वो गलत हो जाएगा. So please try and understand कि हमें इमोशनल नहीं होना है. जो कंट्रोवर्सी है उस पे अपन बात करते हैं. सबसे पहला कंट्रोवर्सी तो आई बिलीव स्टार्ट ही हुआ था आपका जब इनॉग्रेशन हुआ था, एंड दिस इज वेरी अनफॉर्चुनेट फॉर क्रिश्चियन रिलीजियस फैमिलीज के लिए. ये बहुत अनफॉर्चुनेट इवेंट था, मतलब अनफॉर्चुनेटली द वे जो उन्होंने प्रेजेंट किया, आई डोंट नो आपको पता है कि नहीं, कि लियोनार्डो डी कैप्रियो का जो लियोनार्डो डी विंची, सॉरी लियोनार्डो डी विंची, द फेमस पेंट जिनका द फेमस पेंटिंग है मोनालिसा, वर्ल्ड की फेमस है, उनकी भी एक और फेमस पेंटिंग है लास्ट, जो लास्ट सपर की है. लास्ट सपर इज द लास्ट डिनर, ऐसा बोला जाता है कि जीसस ने अपने बारवेल और लोगों के साथ एक लास्ट डिनर किया था. तो उसका एक पिक्चर है, वो पिक्चर भी बहुत स्पेसिफिक है, उसकी कॉपीज कहीं होंगी, वो भी एक पिक्चर है, वो कहीं एक जगह पे रखा हुआ है. सो वो पिक्चर का प्रेजेंटेशन हुआ और द वे दे हैव प्रेजेंटेड वाज वेरी अगली, वेरी अनफॉर्चुनेट. बाद में उनको वो उसके लिए माफी मांगनी पड़ी. सो दिस इज वन ऑफ द very important controversy you can talk about whenever the considerably this type of topics can come here. Then another controversy on gender war point, ये again एक controversy है, ठीक है. इसका अगर आपको डिटेल पता है तो वो आपको थोड़ा सा elaboration is required. I believe this is very important in terms of your understanding towards the genders के लिए XY and XX chromosome का जो issue होता है, जो she is basically, although she is an XX chromosome which requires for a woman, but she is naturally generating that XY chromosome की जो powers, तो उसके कारण से she actually getting that power, extra power as compared to the woman. So ऐसा इसको ये बोला जाता है क्योंकि इसके पहले भी IBA जो था उन्होंने इनको डिस्क्वालीफाई किया. तो this has become a controversy. कई सारे चैनल थे, बट इंडियन ओलंपिक एसोसिएशन ने बोला था कि भाई नो, she is a woman, so she should participate. तो अगेन उसको कोई कमेंट नहीं हुआ. देन जो ब्रिटेन के साथ हमारा क्वार्टर फाइनल मैच था वो बहुत अगेन इंटरेस्टिंग था. अमित रोहिदास जो है उनको रेड कार्ड दे दिया गया. तो अगेन इट इज a decision which can be considered as one of the controversial statement. विनेश फोगाट का मैंने आपको बता दिया डिस्क्वालिफिकेशन के लिए. फिफ्थ इज लो क्वालिटी. सो ऐसा भी बोला जा रहा है कई लोगों ने कि उसका जो जो उसकी परत होता है वो ऑटोमेटिकली निकलने लगा है, थोड़ा भी पानी लगा तो दिस इज समथिंग अनफॉर्चुनेट. पेरिस मतलब फ्रांस अगर करवा रहा है ऑर्गेनाइज, एंड देन दिस इज हैपनिंग. सीन रिवर का ये रिवर जो है, जो ट्राइथलॉन होता है, ट्राइथलॉन में साइकिल एंड रनिंग होता है एंड देन स्विमिंग के थ्रू, स्विमिंग में आपको वो स्विम करके ये जो रिवर है सीन रिवर में, तो इसको उसको ठीक करने के लिए उन्होंने बिलियंस ऑफ डॉलर खर्च किया, बट वो भी ठीक नहीं हुआ। बाद में ये जो पूरा एक्टिविटी था वो कैंसिल करना पड़ा उनको। तो ये भी दिस हैज अगेन बिकम कंट्रोवर्सी। सो अगेन देयर आर सम मोर कंट्रोवर्सीज लाइक there was a she was basically a bronze medalist. She won the bronze medalist, but was disqualified because of the style of her swimming. But this is again a bit within the rule. So there are certain points which can be said that cannot be completely taken as a controversies. Okay. So again, some more points are there. Hijab ban का एक issue रहा है यहाँ पे। फिर देन ड्रोन से स्पाइंग की बात हो रही है कनाडा वुमेन की सॉकर टीम को। तो ऐसे अल्टीमेटली देयर आर मल्टीपल एंगल्स, मल्टीपल वेज वेयर वी कैन टॉक अबाउट। तो फाइनली कंट्रोवर्सीज के लिए आपका तो कंक्लूजन ही इंपॉर्टेंट रहेगा। सजेशंस तो यही हो सकते हैं कि लॉस एंजेलिस में हम जाएं अगले ओलंपिक में, तो देयर कुड बी मोर ट्रांसपेरेंसी इन टर्म्स ऑफ द रूल एंड देयर कंसीडरेशन। सो वो अपने को पुट फॉरवर्ड करना चाहिए। तो इसमें एक और एंगल आप ले सकते थे या इससे कनेक्टेड एक टॉपिक बन सकता था इंडिया के लो क्वालिटी, जो इंडिया ने जो मेडल्स कम आया हमारा, उसका जो हमारा परफॉर्मेंस शो किया वो कम हुआ। उसका एक बड़ा रीजन ये भी हो सकता है दैट यू कैन टॉक अबाउट दैट इंडिया इज मोर डोमिनेटिंग टुवर्ड्स द क्रिकेट, द स्पोर्ट्स में हम लोग क्रिकेट को डोमिनेट करते हैं। सो उस कारण से भी हमारे यहाँ पे कहीं ना कहीं वो कल्चरल discouragement है as compared to China, which was now almost same number of gold medals with US, number 1, number 2, US number 1, number 2, China. So China has transformed themselves specifically 2008 Beijing gold Beijing Olympic के बाद, तो वो कहीं ना कहीं डिफरेंस हमको देखने को मिलता है। तो दैट एंगल यू कैन टेक इट। Then finally I have took a fifth most important area about the science and technology. This again is a crucial area where you need to work on it, because companies generally think that how like you are connected with the world of technology. That does not mean they wanted to perform some coding and all. They just wanted to understand your thoughts on what is happening around us. See that we need to create a line here. We don't need to always say हमें बहुत elaborative knowledge होना चाहिए। हर चीज का elaboration वो तब जरूरी है जब आप specifications में, जब आप एकदम निश हो। बट आप समझिए मेरा जीडी टॉपिक, you don't need to be very thorough with it, but at least basic understanding होना चाहिए। So मैंने इसके लिए टॉपिक इसका प्लान किया था कि can artificial intelligence replace humans? Now please remember once again, this does not only consider Indian context. तो पहला बात, जब आप इंट्रोडक्शन में हैं, so you need to talk about whole as a human race, you need to talk about AI as a human race. तो artificial intelligence and humans, there are collaboration. ऐसा बोला जा रहा है कि there are multiple आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस इतने डीपर हो चुके हैं कि दे आर ऑलमोस्ट इक्वल कंसीडर्ड हो चुके हैं ह्यूमन रेस। नाउ द क्वेश्चन, अगर आप देखेंगे इस जीडी की एक और खास बात है, ये कुछ जीडी क्वेश्चन पूछ रहा है। सो व्हेनेवर दिस जीडी, व्हेनेवर द जीडीज विद व्हिच आर कमिंग इन अ क्वेश्चन मार्क, यू नीड टू ऑलवेज स्टार्ट विद सेइंग आई बिलीव यस और आई बिलीव नो। So I believe yes, can artificial intelligence replace humans? I believe no, it cannot. So you should remember this. So introduction, talk about artificial intelligence as say whatever you know. Talk about human as a nature, as a person. What are the quality that we have? The most important quality which a machine cannot have is a emotion. So emotion that we have, you can talk about it as a human emotions. We as a person, हमारा क्या क्वालिटीज हो सकता है और क्या डिफरेंशिएशन हो सकता है, इसके हमें then we need to come up with a proper discussion के बाद then we should start discussing it. So replacing artificial intelligence, benefits of it, and then replacing artificial intelligence, disadvantage or discouragements of it. So then in a two broader categories you need to come up with it. So दोनों का कैटेगराइजेशन आपको करना है। मेक श्योर कीजिए कि दोनों पॉइंट्स यहाँ वैलिड है। यहाँ ऐसा नहीं है कि आप बोलोगे कि मैं एक साइट पे चला जाऊं और मैं बोलना चालू करूं, नो, आई डोंट थिंक सो ह्यूमन को कभी भी रिप्लेस कर सकता है। बट इन अ पैरेलल सेंस यू नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड इट्स अ ब्रॉडर कॉन्टेक्स्ट पे चलना चाहिए। अभी ह्यूमन रेस कितना ही अच्छा हो जाए, बट कई ऐसे वर्क है जो हमें खुद से ही करना पड़ता है, राइट? यू कैन टेक एन एग्जांपल ऑफ, सिंपल एग्जांपल ऑफ कटिंग योर हेयर, ठीक है? तो वो एज अ पर्सन आपको खुद को करना पड़ेगा। अभी तक ऐसी तो कोई मशीन फिलहाल नहीं बनी हुई है, राइट? सो आप ये ध्यान रखते हुए चलिए कि आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस हैज देयर ओन लिमिटेशन, इन पैरेलल दे हैव देयर ओन स्ट्रेंथ्स आल्सो। सो वो आपको दोनों को बाइफरकेट करना है, एंड देन बाइफरकेशन के बाद ये सबसे बड़ा कॉन्टेक्स्ट आपको ध्यान रखना है कि रिप्लेसमेंट ऑफ ह्यूमन किस किस जगह पे पॉसिबल है, दैट वी कैन टॉक अबाउट। So in Japan or South Korea, where the crisis what they are facing in South Korea and Japan, they don't have humans. उनके लिए नया ब्रीड आ ही नहीं रहा है। तो उन जैसे जनरेशन के लिए artificial intelligence has come up with a really really good advantage. But country like India, we have seen that our transport minister Mr. Gadkari has mentioned clearly that we will not allow we will not allow driverless car. So in our country, always using those artificial intelligence, always using those technological context may not be the requirement. So while discussing, we need to consider that phase. We need to understand that phase. You can talk about the Transformer movie. You can discuss that. So you can take an example. You can take an example of Matrix, a movie, and then you can talk about that. This could be the possibility. There are multiple angles where we need to come up with this, but always remember this is a question, and then you have to answer, and then answer should be on yes or no sides पे आपके चलना चाहिए हमेशा। Lastly, यहाँ suggestions में सबसे crucial suggestion आपका यही आता है कि compulsory, considering the fact that replacement is completely not possible, but still people are so the human race are so desperate and so advanced in terms of technology, they are planning to replace with humans, but the consequences will not be good. Consequences will be in a very difficult side for us, because in a human brain we also need. And then job angle, don't forget to come up with a job angle here. So you can talk about multiple areas in broadly, but this again will rely on your ability to connect multiple things, है ना? और conclusion वाले space में आप थोड़ा सा ध्यान से देखिएगा। Then lastly, I will talk about, I will not go in detail for abstract topic because this may be my next GD session. I will conduct a next GD session in a couple of weeks, and then on that week I will definitely going to come up with a certain topic. But before that, I want you to understand abstract topics are one of the topics which is now being common in many areas. It is being dealt with multiple ways. So abstract topic does not require your content. It's only require your creativity. It's only require your spontaneous thinking. So please try and understand, every company will not ask for an abstract topic. Abstract topics are too much specific. They are too particular topics. Because why I am discussing this? Because most of the time people are always will say it's quite difficult to comprehend a abstract topic. Yes, true. But it is difficult for you, it is difficult for others also. It's a group activity, it's not an individual performance that we will be talking about. So the 10 people के लिए सबके लिए तो abstract topic याद रखिए, आप कितने spontaneously उसको आंसर करेंगे वो ज्यादा बेटर करेगा। तो इसलिए थोड़ा तैयार कीजिए, नेक्स्ट टाइम पे जब we will come up, I will share one or two abstract topic, my opinions of abstract topic, and then probably come up spontaneous thinking. Then आपका content की जरूरत नहीं है, आपको बस ये देखना है कि आप कैसे चीजों को रिलेट कर सकते हैं, the way you can relate, that's the key here in the abstract topics. Finally guys, I tried covering multiple angles. I hope आपको कुछ इसमें से मिला होगा। मैंने कोशिश की कवर करने की। आप समझिए कि this is just a session. I tried making it that in a way how you can perform your GD, but ultimately you should remember You need to prepare points. You need to come up with your thoughts, your thinking. And remember that thought cannot come from some newspaper or something. You need to read those newspaper and write those thoughts in your notebook. I have given you 15 topics. 15 topics. I can once again point out those 15 topics. वो 15 topics आपके लिए काफी important हो जाएंगे. Just a minute. These 15 topics I have given you, you can keep these 15 topics with you and probably start working on it, start preparing for it. And I'm assuring you, if you will prepare these topics, considering the facts which I have told you, you will never miss any GD and your performance will definitely be really, really high. And that is what the requirement for a company is. They don't want masters in a specific area. They just want people can address particular issue in given time. That's it. So वो आपका communication हो पाएगा, सारे issues आपके handle हो जाएंगे. Those who have missed the GD वाला session by Mr. Vikrant Joshi, you can log into our Vikalp Education का YouTube channel. वहाँ आपको GD में Vikrant sir has already discussed the do's and don'ts and the GDs के जो भी requirements हैं, where you can get it, and then interviews का भी श्वेता भंडारी के आपको interview techniques के and resume writing के sessions हैं. Please keep watching and share your feedback, whatever it will be. You would love to implement in the next session. As promised, in my next session, I will cover more GD topics with more different areas. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.